water's so clean. Hi. Can I pet you? Alright, so I'm here at Franklin Canyon Reservoir, and I'm going to be doing what is called grounding. I recently watched a documentary and it's called Earthing, and it's where you basically spend time in nature without shoes on, so that you can ground yourself to the earth. So I've decided I'm going to go for a hike here. It's going to be like a half hour to an hour, probably an hour since I won't have shoes on. And I decided to do Franklin Canyon Reservoir because it has all different types of kind of textures that my feet will be on. So it has everything from water to rocks to grass, to dirt. So yeah, so I've really been wanting to get closer to nature lately, in a lot of ways. So yeah, so let's start this journey. I'm gonna be grounding my feet. It's probably gonna hurt while I walk, but all right, let's do it. So the movie Earthing, that gave me the idea for doing this grounding, talks a lot about how, there's a lot of natural currents that are going on in the ground, and when we're wearing shoes, we're insulating ourselves from connecting to that. So yeah, it made a lot of sense. When I first started out in photography after college, I worked as a stage manager where we would switch over the power from 220 to 110 depending on what the production was doing. And I remember how important grounding was for that power and for safety and everything. And it really got me to thinking about our body's internal system and how grounding to the earth could make a lot of sense. They're saying that if you don't do this natural grounding, that you can wind up with a lot of inflammation in your system. So, not that I have any inflammation, but I just thought it sounded like a good idea. And so far it's nice. Like, I'm walking around, let's see, totally like, here, let's look. I'm totally like on a hike like I normally would be. And it doesn't hurt. Like, I mean, every now and then I'm getting like little rocks and pebbles, but it feels good on my feet, actually. It's not painful at all. I'm just keeping an eye out for rocks, but yeah. Okay, so while we're on this journey of grounding and getting closer to nature, I thought that I would share with you a quick story that's kind of along the same lines. So about 2 years ago, one of my close friends came to visit me, and I hadn't seen her in years. I hadn't seen her in maybe at least 10, maybe more years in person. Sorry, I'm climbing under a branch here. And she was one of my best friends when I was in elementary school growing up. And she always suffered from acne, basically. Like, she would get those like really deep pimples that would leave like a pockmark on the skin. And because of that, the last time I saw her, like about a decade ago, she still had all those pockmarks on her skin. And when she came to visit me, tricky little part here with all these rocks. But anyways, when she came to visit me, her skin looked amazing. I mean, when I say amazing, like, she looked younger. Her skin was perfectly smooth. Every pockmark that she had ever gotten was gone off of her skin. Like, I mean, so I'm in my 40s now, so is she, so we're both in our 40s, and she easily looked like late 20s, early 30s. So I was like, okay, why do you look so amazing? Like, what are you doing? Did you get like a laser peel? Like, why is your skin so smooth? What happened? I mean, it was literally like as if any skin damage that had ever happened was just gone. And she was like, no, I just stopped using store-bought face stuff, and all I use now is organic coconut oil and olive oil. And I was like, what? Doesn't that clog your skin? And she was like, no, not at all. So I was so shocked by how amazing it had done for like fixing what had been years worth of damage on her skin that I tried it. So I was scared that it would clog my pores because I was like, it's oil. They always teach you that you don't want oil on your skin. So I did half of my face with the regular products that I was using, which was like moisturizers and all that stuff. And then I did the other half of my face with coconut oil and olive oil. So I was doing, or I still do, coconut oil under my eyes and then olive oil like on my skin. And it was shocking to see the difference of how much better my skin looked the side that I was using the natural oils on. So it's been 2 years now, and that is all I use on my skin is coconut oil and olive oil instead of moisturizers. I have since learned, I'm going a little slow because this is what I'm currently walking on. Yikes. But I have since learned that organic olive oil has natural retinols in it. So when you're paying like $50 for retinol in these creams, just put organic olive oil on your skin, but make sure it's organic. And coconut oil has antimicrobials in it. So if you're worried about your skin clogging, it's going to actually do the opposite, because what it's doing is going into your pores and naturally fighting off any infections or bad bacteria that's in there. So it's like an antibacterial on your skin. So yeah, there's a plane going overhead. Wow, look at these huge palm trees. So I have been using coconut oil and olive oil for like 2 years now, and you might be looking at me and thinking like, oh, you look old, but I am old. So I think it's doing it. I mean, old's relative, but I think my skin looks better than it did before I was using it. So I am wanting to get on the train of doing even more natural stuff. So I'm going to start doing like natural toothpaste, natural shampoos, natural soap, like, yeah. So I'm going to start doing all of that stuff. I'm really just wanting to get chemicals out of my life and just get as close to nature and as close to the earth as I can. I think I spend so much time on the computer and with technology, and I think technology is great for a lot of reasons, but I do want to balance that out. I'm going to stop this for a second because that plane is loud. All right, so I do have to go a little bit slower when my feet are bare, but this area I'm in has like sticks and rocks and like the pine needles from the trees and stuff, but it's still not nearly as like painful as I thought it would be. And I'd imagine that if I do this on a regular basis, that my feet will probably get tougher. And I mean, I'm really not having to go terribly slow. It's quite nice, actually. I kind of enjoy feeling the earth below my feet. It's like, it kind of feels like how it should feel. Yeah, it's interesting. It's like a lot of times I go for a hike to get out into nature, and yeah, this feels like I'm really out in nature, you know? Like really fully experiencing nature. Look at this beautiful tree. Isn't that amazing? It's interesting to think about how we insulate ourselves with rubber on the bottom of our shoes from touching the earth. I get it, it protects our feet, but it's like we've culturally gotten so used to putting shoes on that how often do we stop and take them off when we're out in nature? Like, I think for me, the only time I've taken my shoes off out in nature in years was sandals at the beach, so that my feet are in the sand. And that's maybe like once in the last, like, I don't know, 10 years. No, that's an exaggeration, but yeah, I never just walk barefoot in nature. This is so nice. I'm gonna do this like way more often. Oh, squirrely squirrel. Squirrely squirrel. Oh, probably couldn't see that. But yeah, think about animals. Like, animals aren't wearing shoes. The padding on their feet's just like the padding on our feet. I mean, not every animal, but like, you know, like I've had dogs and cats and rabbits, and when I look at the bottom of their feet, it's very similar. So yeah, I think we're not meant to have shoes on all the time. Look at this turtle just resting on a log. He's like chilling. Spring and fall are my favorite seasons. I feel like spring is all the birds and the bees and the butterflies and all the like pretty flowers are blooming. It's so nice. And then fall I like because it's like after a hot summer you kind of get to finally, you know, get rid of the heat and all the excess leaves and everything that's holding the heat in. Yeah, so I'm kind of surprised how easy it is to walk around barefoot. I would have thought that it would be a little bit more painful, but it's really not. It's really, really not. It's quite nice. I'm probably gonna hike around barefoot pretty often now. Huh. Who would have thought? So yeah, give it a shot. Next time you go on a walk, take off your shoes and go barefoot. It's like really, really shockingly enjoyable. And look, like even down here, and my feet are dirty now, but you would think all these pine needles and stuff, you can see who I'm recording with, you would think all these pine needles and stuff would be painful, but they're not. They're totally not. So yeah, watch that movie Earthing on YouTube. It's Earthing, EARTHING. I stumbled on it today while I was doing some editing on my computer, and I was like watching it in the background while I was doing some editing, and I was like, it made a lot of sense, everything that they said, and you know, it's in alignment with where I'm at right now with like wanting to just get more connected to the earth. So yeah, get more connected to the earth, get rid of the chemicals. I mean, I'm already pretty organic as it is. Like I only eat organic food, unless in rare occasion I'm out with a friend and they want to go to a restaurant and like, I don't know, we go to Veggie Grill or something. It's like vegan junk food. I'll eat that, but that's like a special occasion. But while I have been so picky about what I put in my body, I haven't been quite as careful about what goes into my skin, which is the largest organism. So I've been thinking a lot lately about, which I'll do a whole nother video on, but I've been thinking a lot lately about soap and what's in soap, and you know, how we're lathering up with all of these awful things on our skin thinking we're getting clean, when in reality it's the largest organism on our body, and in a lot of situations we're just putting a bunch of chemicals all over the largest organ on our body. It's like, okay, I'm gonna do a video all about soap at some point, but until then, a lot of the name brand soaps, which I don't want to name them and like be that person, but like the mainstream ones, like if you go to a chain grocery store and you go to the soap aisle, probably 75 to 80% of them are going to have an ingredient in it called talloate. And talloate is animal fat. So what you're doing when you put that soap all over your skin is you're literally rubbing animal fat into your skin, thinking you're getting clean. And the only thing that's making you think you're getting clean is all the fragrances they put in it to cover up the fact that you're literally slathering animal fat all over your body. And if you take it a step further and really think about it, the animal fat that they're getting is coming from a slaughterhouse. So these animals are in extreme pain and extreme fear. So energetically, they have all this fear in their system. They get slaughtered. That animal fat gets made into soap, and then you slather it all into your skin. It's like energetically so bad. And that's just one of the things about soap. So I'll do a whole thing about soap, because I'm really considering not only like making my own soap, but like, I don't know, I might even make soap and sell it, because I just can't seem to find a soap that I'm good with. Like, I use Castile soap. Well, I said I wasn't going to name brands, but I like Castile soap, but it has palm oil in it. And anyone who knows anything about palm oil, you know, they're tearing down the rainforest in the Amazon to get palm oil, because it's in so many of our products. So yeah, I'm doing a whole bunch of research right now on soap to try to figure out how I can make my own soap and like make something I feel good about using, which I will let you know when I figure that one out, because that is a work in progress. All right, so we've pretty much circled the whole reservoir.
Lucky duckies. Hi, beauties.
All right, so we're leaving the canyon now. Pretty much circled around the whole entire reservoir, and it was not painful on my feet. It was quite lovely. I would definitely do it again. Even if it's not for like connecting to earth and recharging, it just felt very freeing in a way. It kind of feels like having my shoes on now, it feels like my shoes are like heavy. Yeah, I put my sandals back on and it like feels like I want to take them off and go back to bare feet. It's interesting. Well, yeah. Done and done. I guess that's it. Take my hair out of a ponytail. See if there's anywhere else to go. I think we did it all though. Let's see, let's walk across the street and see if there's anything. See if I'm missing anything. I'm such a curious person. My curiosity, I swear. Okay, we'll go through here for just a moment. My curiosity is what always got me into trouble when I was a kid. Which is telling me I should probably only walk through here for a moment, because yeah. Nice. It's a nice little area back here. Oh, I see some yellow flowers over there. So yeah, if you're watching this video on your computer screen, let's say take an hour, go out into nature, take your shoes off, hug a tree, lay down in the grass, put your feet in some water. Ooh, look at all these. Aren't these pretty? That's nice. Oh, these are so pretty. Spring is so beautiful. So when I had the camera off since I moved around in the bushes, and I was like, okay, time to go. Like, you never know in these parts. You know, it could be like a rattlesnake, or like, you just never know. I'd rather not be on a trail that no one ventures on, or seemingly not many people venture on. All by myself. All right, I'm gonna call it for this walk and talk. It's been enjoyable. I learned something new. Look at these pretty purple flowers before we go. Yeah. But I learned something new. I learned that grounding in nature is very pleasant. And from everything that I saw in that birthing movie, very, very good for you. You should really watch it. A lot of people were able to heal themselves by doing it. So, yeah, good stuff. Goodbye.